Conservative MMA peeps, what's up? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion and the MMA Expert, joined by Paul F. Villarreal. And we're talking about UFC 146, the main event, Frank Mir versus the champion, UFC heavyweight champion, Junior Dos Santos. Paul, this is for the championship right here. And people want to hear our prediction. And my prediction for this fight is as follows. I think, as I said before, I think that Junior Dos Santos wins this. I think he's going to stop Frank Mir via strikes. Yes, of course, Frank Mir has a chance. There's no question about it. Frank Mir has some very dangerous submissions. We've seen that with Nogueira. But, I mean, if you look at the competition that Frank Mir has faced versus Junior Dos Santos, if you've seen, sort of, in my personal opinion, the strengths of their game, if you take a look at the speed, at the power, you know, at the movement, all that, I just really like Junior Dos Santos better. I think he's faster. I think he hits harder. I think he moves better. And I'm just really not that impressed with what Frank Mir can do other than, you know, his dangerous submissions. And I think that, you know, looking at I think the UFC prime time, I believe, in my personal opinion, first of all personal opinion only, knowledge. In fact, I cast personal for entertainment purpose only. I like the kind of training that Dos Santos was doing with Nogueira. They showed it down there in Brazil, and in my personal opinion, it seems like, you know, because of the relationship with Nogueira and Dos Santos and what happened with Frank Mir and Dos Santos and that whole thing, it almost seems like, you know, Dos Santos is taking this personally, and I feel like he's got the kind of power to put some serious hurt on Frank Mir. So I like Dos Santos by stoppage here. And again, looking at the prime time, I wasn't that impressed with the training of Frank Mir. That's my personal opinion. What do you think about this fight, Paul? Who do you predict is going to win this fight?
John, I agree with you. I just don't see a lot of different ways in which Frank Mir can win this fight. I think he would definitely need to get the fight onto the ground. And as we saw in the Dos Santos versus Shane Carwin fight, it is not easy to get Dos Santos to the ground. And even if you get him there, it's not easy to keep him there. So I think that Shane Carwin is a stronger man and a better wrestler than Frank Mir, and he wasn't able to do it. I just think it's going to be very difficult for Frank Mir to be able to do what he needs to do in this fight. I think the fight's going to stay on the feet mostly, and I just don't think that Frank Mir can defeat Dos Santos in that type of a situation unless he lands like some kind of a crazy kick or something like this. So I am definitely going with Junior Dos Santos in this fight. I'm looking forward to it. It should be an exciting fight for as long as it goes, and we'll see what happens.
Right, and the other thing about Dos Santos, as we saw against Cain Velasquez, Dos Santos is one of those fighters that can stay at his range, out of your range, come in, bam, crack you, and it can all be over. And that's, you know, one of the things that Dos Santos, you know, is pretty darn good at, in my personal opinion. So I think that, you know, Frank Mir is going to have a hard time finding a comfortable range without getting stung. So and I don't think that Frank Mir is the best wrestler either. So I mean, you know, Frank Mir has gotten better with his hands. Frank Mir absolutely has some very dangerous submissions. He is a big, strong guy, but at the end of the day, I just don't see him winning against Junior Dos Santos. So I'm picking Junior Dos Santos. So does Paul. What do you peeps out there think? You tell us what's up. Give us the comments below. Please subscribe above. I'm John D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion and the MMA expert. Who do you think is going to win this fight and how? Tell us why right now. I want to hear from all the MMA fans all around the world. This is your chance to speak on it. Frank Mir fans, you know, a lot of you, maybe you wanted this fight. You're getting it now. Tell me why you think Frank Mir is going to win. Junior Dos Santos fans, Junior is the heavyweight champion. Tell me why you think he's going to retain that championship. Please rate this video up. Also, please post to your social networking sites. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.